Have you ever wondered why a higher salary often brings less peace instead of more freedom? A raise is supposed to make life easier. A promotion is supposed to create breathing room. A better paying job should, logically, move you closer to wealth. And yet, for a huge part of the middle class in the United States and Europe, the opposite quietly happens. Income rises, stress stays the same. Sometimes it even grows. The paycheck gets bigger, but the bank balance somehow never does. This is one of the most uncomfortable truths in personal finance. Earning more and becoming wealthier are not the same process, and most people don't realize the difference until years of higher income have already been converted into a more expensive lifestyle. Picture a young software analyst in London. At 25, he starts on £38,000 a year. A few years later, after switching jobs twice, he reaches £55,000. This looks like success. After taxes and pension contributions, his monthly take-home pay moves from roughly £2,450 to £3,250. That's about £800 more every month. For a moment, it feels like financial relief, but almost immediately, life begins to resize itself around that new number. The flat share no longer feels appropriate, so he moves into a one-bedroom apartment closer to the city center. Rent rises from £850 to £1,350. The older hatchback that was cheap to maintain gets replaced with the financed Audi. The payment is now £420 per month, plus insurance and fuel. Weekend takeaways become regular dining out. Low-cost trips become carefully curated city escapes. The wardrobe gets upgraded because his workplace now has a certain culture. The phone contract gets more expensive. Streaming subscriptions multiply. None of this feels irrational. In fact, every decision feels justified. After all, he worked hard for the raise. This is exactly why the trap is so powerful. The problem is rarely one reckless purchase. It's the silent expansion of recurring monthly obligations. Higher income often creates permission for higher fixed costs, and fixed costs are what quietly destroy wealth-building capacity. Let's reduce it to simple math. The raise created an extra £800 a month, but the apartment upgrade alone costs £500 more. The new car adds around $300 more compared to the old one. Insurance increases by another $60. Dining, subscriptions, and social spending absorb an extra $120. Now, the new lifestyle is consuming £980 every month. That means an £800 raise has actually created a negative £180 shift in monthly flexibility. This is why so many professionals feel richer in status but poorer in liquidity. The paycheck is larger, but the margin is smaller, and wealth only grows inside the margin. This is the hidden financial mistake. People treat raises as permission to upgrade identity. They rarely treat raises as a chance to strengthen ownership. The system around them encourages this. Banks approve larger mortgages the moment income rises. Car dealerships normalize monthly payments instead of total cost. Credit limits increase. Student loan payments become easier to ignore because cash flow feels less tight. Even social circles shift. As income rises, the definition of what feels normal changes. Friends suggest more expensive restaurants. Coworkers plan trips that would once have felt excessive. Living in a better area starts to feel less like luxury and more like baseline adulthood. This is not just spending, it's psychology. Humans adapt extremely quickly to improved circumstances. What once felt premium becomes ordinary in weeks. A nicer apartment stops feeling exciting after the second rent payment. The financed car becomes invisible after the first month. The better lifestyle doesn't keep generating happiness, but the bills keep generating obligations. This is called hedonic adaptation, and it's one of the most important reasons higher income fails to translate into long-term wealth. The emotional satisfaction fades, the fixed expenses remain, and because those expenses become part of identity, cutting them later feels like failure. That's where the deeper system flaw appears.
Modern middle-class life is designed to convert income gains into financing opportunities. You are rarely encouraged to think in total lifetime cost. You are encouraged to think in monthly affordability. That shift changes everything. A $40,000 car sounds expensive. A $520 monthly payment sounds manageable. A $200,000 mortgage increase feels dangerous. An extra $700 per month feels acceptable. Monthly thinking hides the true cost of long-term commitments. Over 5 years, that car payment isn't just £420, it's over £25,000, excluding maintenance, insurance, and interest. The apartment upgrade isn't just £500 more, it's £6,000 per year, or £60,000 over a decade, before rent inflation. Now zoom out. Imagine that same £800 raise had been protected instead of absorbed. That's £9,600 a year. If consistently invested at a modest 7% annual return, over 15 years, it compounds to roughly £241,000. Not because of genius investing, not because of risky bets, simply because the raise was not converted into lifestyle debt. This is where earning more actually becomes wealth. The difference is rarely intelligence, it's perspective. Financially intelligent people do not automatically associate income growth with visible upgrades. They understand that every recurring expense competes with future freedom. When they receive a raise, they mentally separate it into two categories. One part can improve quality of life, the other part must improve financial resilience. The ratio matters more than the number. This is why so many people on moderate salaries quietly become wealthy, while others on 6 figures remain trapped. The wealthy path often looks less impressive from the outside. It might mean staying in the same apartment for 3 extra years, keeping the paid-off car, ignoring pressure to match your level, resisting the temptation to translate professional progress into visible lifestyle proof. This mindset is difficult because society rewards appearances immediately. A nicer home gets compliments, a luxury car signals success, expensive travel creates social proof, but ownership grows in silence. Brokerage accounts are invisible, reduced debt is invisible, cash reserves are invisible. From the outside, the financially intelligent person may look less successful. 10 years later, they often have something far more valuable than status. They have options, the ability to leave a toxic job, the ability to survive layoffs without panic, the ability to invest during downturns instead of selling in fear, the ability to make career decisions based on long-term value, not immediate salary pressure. That is what real wealth changes. So the real question is not whether your income is increasing, it's whether your financial flexibility is increasing faster than your lifestyle expectations. Because if every raise immediately turns into a larger rent payment, a bigger EMI, or a more expensive identity, income growth becomes nothing more than a treadmill with better branding. The paycheck grows, the obligations grow faster, and wealth never gets the chance to form. The people who quietly build wealth understand one simple truth. A raise is not just more money, it is a decision point. It either becomes future ownership or it becomes future maintenance, and the direction you choose compounds for years. If this made you rethink what a raise really means, consider